So, good evening, good evening, good evening. It is a very good evening. We have a Champions League game on Wednesday. We're on the back of 5 straight wins, 21 goals, 5-0 away, 6-0 at home, 10 out of 10 for the manager. And the Toxic Negative podcast is back again, guys. Big up, Jez. Big up, Matty. Big up, Kenny. What are you all saying, guys? What are you saying, Jez?
Oh, mate, I mean, well, I just, the other day, 2 games on the bounce, crikey. I mean, gone are the days at the moment where I have to sit there and watch Arsenal like this. Now, I'm like, and I'm sort of kicking the ball, like you do when you get excited in a game when you're watching it. I'm loving it. It's great to see. Fair play to Mikel Arteta. He's got something banging at the moment, and big respect for him for doing it. And we never praised the manager, guys, but we've given him 10 out of 10 for the last 2 weeks. And I think the week before that, he got an 8 out of 10 or something like that. Loving it. Can't wait. Bring on Porto. Because right now, we are on fire. And I'm loving every single minute of it. Come on, let's do this.
Yeah, man. Matty, what about you, bro? How you been, man? How's Monday?
Doing well, man. Doing well, brother. Holiday here in the States. And, coming off the back of a beautiful weekend. I mean, you got Trossard scoring at the same time Spurs is getting scored on. I mean, it's just
exactly the same second.
all kind of great stuff going on this weekend, man. The lads are popping. They are looking focused, determined, and everybody's having a good time. It's good in Arsenal land. It's good in Arsenal land.
Yeah, man. Kenny, what about you, mate? How's Monday for you? How's it going? It's better when we get a win, isn't it, mate?
Oh, especially a fresh like that. It's been fantastic Monday. The whole weekend's been brilliant. Everything we've done as a club has turned it into gold. We're enjoying ourselves. The Rat Army, like I said, enjoying themselves. Enjoying the wins. And I can't wait to see all my friends and foes on the 27th. But as I said before, since we've come back from Dubai, all we've done is kept it simple. Doing this to basics well. Something we weren't doing before. We finally exercised the ghost of poor selection, i.e., we finally accepted, hopefully, that Eddie's not the one we need, that he's not going to take us to that level. We've got Declan Rice in more attacking positions. Kivior in the last 2 games has actually given us what we want, i.e., defensive role. And, Benjamin White is showing that why we bought him. We bought Benjamin White not because he's a central defender. We bought Benjamin White because Benjamin White can play a variety of positions, i.e., centre-half, not as great as we'd like, right back, and in midfield. Hence the fact he's perfect to invert when Zinchenko's not there. So that's things we've been doing really well, and hence the fact we're winning games. I couldn't care less about the opposition. The fact is, there's no guarantees of winning any game in the Premiership. You have to earn the right, and you have to, when you've got a foot in the throat, keep it there and show no mercy. And that's what we've been doing. That's what we've all been calling for the last couple of years. No mercy football.
100%. High tempo, get the goals quick. At the start of the season, we were playing slow, boring, sideways, backwards, scraping last-minute winners against Luton. Many other teams along the way as well, by the way. But last-minute winners, etc., etc. And that Dubai trip, that winter break, looks like it came at the right time. And I see a lot of people saying it was the reason we were playing slow and within ourselves is so we can save ourselves for the running, which I think is just a load of rubbish. Yeah, because surely you can save yourself a lot better if you're going 3-4-0 up by half time and you can rotate your squad a lot easier. Rather than playing slow, still being in a game until stoppage time, and you have to keep your better players on, which therefore means they're more tired because you can't rest them so much. So, listen, it's working at the minute. Man City play on Wednesday. They actually play when we're playing our Champions League game. No, they play tomorrow. I'm lying. Liverpool play on Wednesday. So, so both of them could go clear even more before we play, and then City play before us on Saturday as well. If they win their next 2 games, which are, I think, Bournemouth away on Saturday, and they've got Brentford on Tuesday, tomorrow. Then they'll be, 4 points ahead? And we're going to see this quite a lot now as well, because like Liverpool got a few injuries. And I'd imagine all three of us are just going to keep changing places. And I don't know whether it's a good thing that we're not first at the moment, because we've seen over the years Man City don't go first until right near the end of the season. So we can do what Man City have been doing over the years, remains to be seen. But as for the game, let's start with you, Jez. Let's start with you. We were sat there 6-0 after the West Ham game. We were sitting there like, wow. I mean, we did the watch along, mate, and we were just sat there, feet up at half time. Get the cigars out, have the party, like get the barbecue ready. You know, it was easy. But Jez, we went into that game against Burnley, and I was thinking, this could be a potential banana skin. It's not our favourite ground ever, is it? Let's be real. We've had a couple of iffy results, a couple of last-minute winners there before, and it didn't work out like that. We absolutely slapped them. No shots on target. Everyone was quality, and we scored some great goals again. It was good to watch, mate.
Oh, it's lovely. Absolute dreams. You know, I did actually say it could be a tricky one, but I did predict a 4-0 for Arsenal because I think Burnley. They're
funny that, Jez. You predicted a win. I didn't think we were allowed to do that, mate. I predicted 4-0.
You know, I'm toxic, negative. Me, I never want Arsenal to win. What are you on about? You know, I'd rather see us relegated. Yeah, like hell. Not in my lifetime. And I thought it was great. The intensity that we're playing with at the moment. I don't know where this has suddenly come from. I've asked this question on a show I did. Last season, we started off at 100 miles an hour, top of the league, right up to the World Cup and slightly after the World Cup. And then it all went a bit wrong. You know, we started to fall off a little bit and it started to break down. At this point in time, we're smoking. We are absolutely ripping teams apart. Palace, we took them apart. We took West Ham apart, which I was very surprised we scored 6 because I think go there and score 6 goals, never saw that one coming. Going to Burnley, scoring 5, don't remember that in my lifetime, that's for sure. And it's just great, joyful football to watch. Whether it was the Dubai little breakaway has done this, I don't know, or it has the fact that Arteta and the coaching crew have changed the culture. I think that's more likely it. And if he has, well done. And I'm loving every minute of what you're doing, mate. We're coming in now to the Champions League again. That is a game. That is something. I really want them to go for that. You know, I've never seen us win a Champions League. We're not great in Europe. I said to you the other day, Lee, probably the biggest club in Europe that's never won the Champions League. Let me rephrase that because I'll get clipped. One of the biggest clubs, right, in English football and in Europe that's never, ever won the Champions League is Arsenal. It's a very sad thing to have to say that. You look at clubs in England that have won it and we've never done it. So I want us to really go for this now. Maximum intensity. It's not going to be an easy game away. We're away. And but we've just got to do it. And I really, really hope that the team are up for this now because they must be laughing with confidence right now. And I'm fantastic. If they're enjoying it, I'm enjoying it, and it's brilliant. Please don't capitulate in the Champions League. I'll be so annoyed. Really will.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, we've got a very tough game. We'll come to that in a bit later in the podcast, but it's not easy. But we're going in there off the back of slapping a lot of teams up on the way. And we've been looking a lot more fluid as well. Matty, let me come to you, man. We obviously did the watch along. And it was fantasy football, man. It was like we were just sat there 2 weeks straight, just chilling.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about everything else except the game.
It was like, no, get another one. Just get one more. Get 6 back-to-back sixes. Yeah. That would have been a record, man.
Yeah. I mean, it was Dream Street, man. I mean, it was great to see that. You know, we finished off a team. I mean, inside 5 minutes of goal on the board. You know, it's what all three of us have been complaining. All 4 of us, have been complaining about all year. Is that we knew this was there. But I did some in-depth research this weekend, Lee, and I mentioned this yesterday. I was with Tony, and it hit me like a ton of bricks after we got off. And I might have even mentioned it to you. But I think one of the main reasons why this attack has gotten more fluid, there's several. but the main three are this. One, Trossard's playing through the middle. Ball just moves better. It's just even if he has a bad game, the ball just moves better in throughout the pitch. Number two, Jesus is not on the floor. Because because our attacks are start, stop, because we're always that, slowing down because he's either foul, he's rolling around, hand in the air, And then the other one is Zinchenko is not in this team. So Kivior is not trying to go play right forward. He's not trying to play, score goals. He's doing his job, So some of the main issues that we actually saw some of this last year when when Trossard was moved out and then Jesus was shoehorned back in, we don't need to see that. It's a proven fact that we've won 3 games with pretty much the same lineup outside of the Liverpool because Kivior came on in the second half. But you pretty much see how different the team flows without having to start, stop, and you got to compensate. You got defenders got to go compensate for him because he's up there trying to score, and everything just moves better. The manager is looking and he's like, "Well, man, you know what? I'm going to try this again this week." He's trying it again. We're going to try it again this week. Now what's going to be interesting is what we do on Wednesday. What lineup we're going to come back with Wednesday. But for me, I say just keep working, keep rolling with it until it fall apart. If it keeps on working, then just keep on doing it. Because we're getting the most out of this team right now. And for me, the next several games are critical. You stated earlier that, there's going to be a lot of leapfrogging the next couple of weeks. But we all saw what happened on Saturday afternoon. There's a good possibility that could happen again. So we've got to keep doing what we're supposed to do, beat what's in front of you, and just keep going game by game. Just that simple, game by game. I was just elated, man. I've been feeling good these last couple weeks. It's like back in the old days, man. I could go enjoy my weekend. I was cleaning up, I could do stuff. I'm not frustrated, not cruising YouTube trying to see what everybody said. I didn't even care what anybody said this week. I was chilling, So it was great, man. And it's just good to see. And hopefully the boys can keep it up, man. And like Jez said, man, they should be beaming with confidence. There's not one player in that locker room now that should be down on themselves. I mean, you got Kai Havertz out there, sliding goals. Everybody's on cloud now. So, it is what it is, man. But yeah, outstanding performance.
Yeah, mate, absolutely spot on. Listen, big up to everyone locked in. Smash these likes up as well. There's nearly 450 in it. Get these likes up. I will be redirecting to Saeed afterwards. He's going live in about half hour or so. So if we wrap up after that, we'll still redirect to him. But either way. Big up for the 2 super chats as well. Chaitanya says the only way to convince Mbappe to join Arsenal is by winning the Champions League. Unfortunately, my friend, and thank you very much as always, but I think he's already signed for Madrid, mate. I think that's been done for a long time.
We need a double, Lee.
Right. If we did the double, bro, we never know. Maybe hijack the deal. It cost us a fortune, man. He'd probably end up managing Mikel Arteta because I think he's a bit off key, that Mbappe, isn't he? But anyway, big up, man. Big up to Carlos Silva as well. Normally agree with your eye for talent, Zubimendi more than others. I disagree with Tony. He isn't a great finisher and he's slow on the ball. Listen, 4 goals in 5 games, man. I don't know. Listen, he's a good baller, man. Him and Neto would be absolutely class for us. I can't lie. Yeah, them 2 are brilliant. Thank you, though, man. Appreciate it. And big up to Granit Xhaka. Doing well. He's top of the table over in Germany, guys. He's flying, man. 8 points clear of Harry Kane. Zinchenko should be in the squad as Odegaard backup. Do you know what? We've said this on this podcast before. He was actually a number 10 before Pep signed him. So I don't know why Pep did that funkiness and putting him that hipster stuff and put him at left back. But last time 29 and Jorginho went to Porto, they won the Champions League final. Hey, that's a good omen.
Yeah.
Big up for the super chat, man. And smash these likes up. The pinned comment is all 3 of the guys' socials, like their channel, Jez's channel, Matty's channel, and Kenny's Insta. But Kenny, last week you was at the game against West Ham. You witnessed 6 goals. Since they've come back from Dubai, Kenny, you've seen millions of goals going in, mate. Live, a lot of them. But I don't think any of us would have predicted 5-0. What was you thinking watching the game, man?
Well, the thing about it is, I actually thought that we'll win 6-0 this weekend and probably win by the odd goal last week against West Ham. But the performances have been fantastic. You know, yes, Saturday was absolutely brilliant. We controlled the game from start to finish. You know, the game was over when Odegaard's got his goal. A fantastic ball by Martinelli outside his foot. Odegaard tracked it, shot on sight, 1-0, and that was it. It was game over. It was only a matter of time before we get more goals. And, you know, the way we played, you know, defensively, Kivior was brilliant. You know, did what we've been asking Zinchenko to do for a long time. Benjamin White, as you said, was, you know, throwing his weight around, throwing players around, but inverted, which is really important because, you know, normally when Zinchenko's not there, we rely on players to invert like Kivior, who's just not his game. But Benjamin White, we always knew Benjamin White was a bit of a ball. He's good on the ball, and he could play in the midfield. Although we had him earmarked as a DM if need be, not so much as an inverter. But he's been brilliant. And then Odegaard was just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. He was just like, he just carried on from the West Ham game. You know, I thought it was between him and Saka for my man of the match, but he's been sublime. And Saka, you know, the conversation that, you know, fans are having amongst themselves, obviously Rio ignited it by talking, you know, mentioning whether Saka's world class. That's a good conversation to have, because before Christmas or even after the Liverpool game, we were talking about Saka being in a bit of decline, not such decline, but off the pace. He's not playing as well as he was before, and he's been, you know, he was getting a lot of criticism at the Fulham game. Fans were screaming, abusing him, and booing him, you know, because he really was out of sorts. But since he's come back from Dubai, he's once again part of that conversation. You know, whether him or Foden world class is a different conversation for a different time. You know, we all have our opinions. We discuss other shows, but that is a good discussion to have. Odegaard as well, just mentioned. You know, Trossard's been a revelation as well. You know, we haven't panicked like we did last season when Jesus was out. We just put Trossard in. You know, we know that Trossard's very good on the ball. That you know that he's a very intelligent footballer and he can create chances out of nothing, which is harsh on Eddie. But you know, this is last year. Last year, Eddie was the one who was the guy who was the deputy for Jesus. This time we're going a different route. And let's face it, Eddie's dropped the ball. You know, I don't think he's done it on purpose. It's just that there's levels and Eddie just can't make it. He really can't make it, you know, but who knows? There could be a time when we will need him. But at the moment, we're in a situation for Eddie where a few players have to be injured for him to get a game. In terms of like, you know, other players as well, just wait for Martinelli to get in the score sheet, although he scored against Liverpool and he scored a couple against Crystal Palace. But, you know, he's been a revelation as well. Defence has just been as good as ever. Gabriel, again, always gets a mention. I thought he was fantastic again. And, you know, you could tell, you know, how well things are going, that he actually can bring on Cedric. You know, he didn't bring on Cedric at all this season, you know, as memory goes right. But last two games, we've been cruising. He's able to get some action. So it just shows you how confident we are as a team and how well we're playing. But the frustrating thing about it all, there's so much football left. Liverpool are in good form as well. Man City, you know, worse smacking form, although Chelsea should have won the game with the chance they had. But one thing about Man City, everyone's writing off Man City. I say, like I say, last season, I think they were about 5 or 6 points behind us by this stage of the season, and they still won it. So you can never.
They've actually got after 24 games, which is what they've played. They've got 1 point more this season than they had after 24 last season.
And that's the thing. As well as everything's going, the only shallow point is got to keep it going, because can't afford to drop points. You know, everyone's got to respond. You know, everyone who's got, you know, massive squads like Liverpool and us, we've got a big squad as well. Not in terms of quality as Liverpool and Man City, but everyone's going to be needed. There's no excuses. You know, everyone says, "Oh, this guy's struggling because I've got injuries." Just get on with it. That's what we're going to have to do. That's what Liverpool are going to have to do. What Man City got to do. In terms of like leading on to Porto, this is a great opportunity for us as well. But you know, perversely, I do think that our best chance of silverware is actually the league, as opposed to the Champions League, because of the fact that I don't want to disrespect the Premiership, but there are better sides in the Champions League with better coaches, and we're not going to be playing the same team we played against West Ham and Burnley as opposed to Porto. In fact, I'm convinced that Havertz will probably going to be on the bench and Jorginho will start because of the different pace of the game, the fact we're going to need to control possession. So the different tournament and different personnel. Don't be surprised if that happens. That's his kind of team selection. But in terms of momentum-wise, can't wait to Porto. They're not. It's a great opportunity for us against them. But let's face it, they're a good team as well. A very, very good team. A good pedigree in Europe, better than us. So again, same mindset, but different tactics and different preparation, and probably a different pace of the game. Because remember, we've got 2 legs as well. It's an 180-minute game, not a 90-minute game.
Facts. Do you guys think Mikel Arteta will change up his winning side for Wednesday's game? That's a great comment. We'll come to that in a second, my friend, because I want to carry on talking about the win first. But big up LD, man. Always in my chat as well. Appreciate it, bro. There's a few people as well that have asked me in the last couple of days, why does it keep rewinding the live straight back to the beginning whilst I'm live? Alpha's asked it today. Basically, if you're on the app on your phone and then you come off of the app, you can't keep the YouTube app open, I don't think, whilst you're going on WhatsApp, for example. Once you go back into it, when you press play, sometimes it'll just rewind it straight to the beginning, or it'll just play it from where it was. Just press live. There's a little live thing there. It'll just take you straight back to live. But it is jarring, I can't lie. It's a little glitch. It's been happening recently. So it's not happening for a load of people, but it is what it is. But anyway, let's go around some of the players that performed, man. Obviously, we know some of them watch the podcast. Martin Odegaard being one of them. We've been telling him to shoot more because he's been extremely frustrating recently, taking way too many touches around the penalty box. And then we see in 4 minutes, Jez, first touch, bang, 1-0. And that's what we wanted to see, man, because that guy last season was shooting on sight.
Yeah.
This season, I don't know why he's not shooting on sight. What did you put it down to, man?
Well, it's a good, very, very, very good point, Lee, because last year we saw him doing that on the edge of the box, 20 yards out, 22, 24, scoring banging goals. And then this year it's tippy-tap around the edge of the box, losing control. But Odegaard, I don't know if it's actually a tactical thing or anything. I don't know. But one thing I've noticed about Odegaard recently is there's a lot more movement from him. He's really commanding a lot more in that midfield. He looks a lot more exciting and deadly. And the fact that he's doing this sort of cross runs here, cross runs straight down, and his ball distribution, I think, has been very, very good. And I don't know what it's about, but he looks like a reinvigorated player. He looks like the player when he was scoring goals last season, some lovely, beautiful goals. And the goal he scored the other day, wow. I mean, bullet shot, straight down, bottom corner. No keeper in the world is going to really get to that. I can't honestly put it down to one thing. It does seem to me that something has happened. The whole team looks reinvigorated. Before Christmas, they looked lackluster, sideways passing, backwards, losing control of the ball. I've had discussions with people on different shows. Oh, well, we've played some poor sides. Well, West Ham weren't great. They're not a poor side, but they didn't turn up on the day and we took advantage, which, let's be fair, in the past, we haven't. We've turned up against a poor team and we've struggled to sneak like a 1-0, or we've had to get, end up 1-1, and then we've nicked it in the last injury time minutes, and we've walked out of there 3 points, and you get all the top gooners out there digging it up. Oh, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. No, it wasn't. At this point in time, it is brilliant, 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 because we're actually taking teams apart. The difference, Lee, with the likes of Odegaard and Rice and people like that, they're putting their foot on the other team's throat. They're starving them of oxygen, and that's at the end of it. That's not a literal thing, but that's what they're doing. They're killing teams off early. You know, we get hold of them, score a nice goal, and then we go in at 3-0, 4-0, half time, whatever. Teams are dead. They must come out for that second half and think, what are we going to do now? You know, 4-0 down, West Ham at home. They must have thought, can we just call it now, ref? Can we just stop it now? You know, because there's nothing we can do about it. Let's just get on the team bus and piss off.
And then they see 10-minute stoppage time added.
Yeah, they must be thinking, oh dear God, really? You know, come on, ref. Let's pack it in now, mate, because we don't want to be embarrassed anymore. But that is the difference with Arsenal right now, is we are killing teams off. We are devastating them. We're putting them up against the wall. We've got our hand on their throat, and you're just saying to them, it's the Tony Adams attitude. You ain't beating us today, fella, right? And that's a comparison I made the other day between, at this point, Saliba, Gabriel. It's almost like watching Steve Bold and Adams, right? In the fact of the way they work together. And now where that come from, that's down to great coaching. I'm sorry, I have to say that. That is great coaching. And the fact we've got a decent right back, and then we've also got a left back in Kivwa, which is playing very well. What I don't want to see,
last couple of games,
I think it's been quality, man. And I don't want to see when Zinchenko comes back from injury, he's put straight back in. No.
Bin him in the summer, mate, or play him at number 10. Keep him in the squad for midfield, but don't play him at left back. No more, man. This experiment needs to go in the bin. Like, honestly, just put it in the bin. If you're going to keep him, because he is a very good footballer. Yeah, let's just all have that right. He's extremely good on the ball. Yeah, and his short game passing is quality. But he's not a left back. So stop playing him at left back. We just play him in midfield. Just put him in midfield. Yeah, he can play as an 8. He can play as a 10. I'd rather he just switches with as a bench player for Odegaard. I'd rather he just do that. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
You know what? I still think that he's going to go. There's going to be certain games where he is going to look at Zinchenko. You know, he's probably going to look at Zinchenko. He won't look at Zinchenko in away from home. You know, certain games, you know, like Man City, Tottenham, and Man United. He won't go to Zinchenko. He'll probably go with Kivior or go Tomiyasu, because everyone's talking about Kivior's performances. Tomiyasu is another one who you know can come in as well. There's going to be a lot of rotation at home. Depends what the situation is, because you know we all thought that against certain teams like West Ham and Burnley that we are going to need Zinchenko to control possession, but Benjamin White's done that job from the right backs, position. So it's a selection headache the managers wanted, and you know, and what we've been calling for. But there's a certain games where Kivior doesn't get skinned, Zinchenko does get skinned, you know, and you know, I wouldn't bring him back, but I would consider him from certain games, and I think the manager's going to do the same thing as well, you know, because I just get the feeling that, you know, there's going to be certain games where it's going to be courses, you know, and obviously we're going to talk about Porto tomorrow, but yeah, I'm 50-50. You know, Kivior's done really well. He did excellent against West Ham. He was brilliant against Burnley, but who knows? Maybe I need a bit more convincing. But so far, so good with Kivior. But I do think that he'll bring Zinchenko. Me personally, the player that I would bring ahead of both of them would be Tomiyasu.
Yeah, I'm in full agreement to that. That's what I was actually going to say. Is I would, if anybody needs to come right back in, it would probably be Tommy. And then even at that, I would look at how I rotate my players. Like, you know, we play City. I don't want to see Zinchenko when we play a team that can completely exploit that weakness. I would prefer to have someone with the experience in. I know there's a couple of people in the chat saying Timber is going to be back, but you know, you still have to keep in mind that he's coming back off of a major injury. And the last thing you want is a setback, and then you've got an injury-prone player. So you have to kind of
look what's happened with Jesus. He's had a knee injury, and he keeps on having reoccurrence and injury. All you have to do is go up towards the M1 to the M62 and go to Anfield. Alexander-Arnold, You know, knee injuries is one of those things where they don't always clear up, you know, and in some cases, you're not the same player. You just have to play differently and train different. You know what I mean? Paul McGrath, I'm not saying that, Jesus is in that category, but, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, and Timber's in that category, we don't know, but an injury as serious as that, to the extent that you felt it before half-time against Forest, and then you were told to go and run it off, and it turned into like a catastrophic injury. Those are horrible injuries to come back from, knees. So I'm still in favour of Timber, you know, coming, you know, back ready and you know,
Just
like
let him be, man. Throw him on for a couple of minutes here and there if that. But I don't want to see him starting a game this season.
I don't want to see him this season. I'll wait. I'll just wait to pre-season.
I'm 100%. I just there's no magic pill with him, and I want people to understand it. There's not going to be this magic pill this season that's going to just we're going to get, you know, that person's going to come back and that's going to do. No, it's going to be a case of he's going to have to rotate players the right way. So far, he's gotten that good. I'm of the ilk. Jesus does not need to be back in this team as soon as he comes back. He needs to be used off the bench. When players are tired, when Saka's tired, he needs to be going over there. He needs to be going in his position, relieving Saka, because Saka has still been going. You know, we talk all this talk. He's still been playing almost 3 calendar years of football. So, I mean, you know, at some point he's going. This thing, you just hope he can keep it going. But he's going to need a replacement. Well, guess who the replacement is? It's Jesus. Jesus needs to go over there, you know, and take care of it. It's the same thing with Zinchenko. When Tamayasu, who's injury prone, by the way, when he looks knackered or whatever, then you go down the pecking order. Timber coming back is not going to be, you know, he's only played a half a game this whole season, you know.
Yes.
So I mean that's a. I want people to understand, bringing him back or bringing some of these players back, in a sense, will be repeating what happened last year. Because, Lee, what happened last year when we were rolling? The players just started coming back into the team. You know,
we brought Jesus back in off the back of a knee injury where we had surgery. He came back in and we did next to nothing.
Nothing.
He was brilliant before the knee surgery, whereas Trossard during that time was absolutely killing it. He has his surgery, he comes back in, Trossard's dropped, and we bottle a tile. I'm not blaming Jesus. There's multiple things that went wrong, but hopefully he's learned from that, this manager. Where is Tomiyasu, by the way? Because he came back from the Asia Cup and we ain't seen him in the squad yet.
We'll probably see him Wednesday. I think we'll probably see him Wednesday. I think he'll be on the bench Wednesday.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think he'll be there for that game.
Possibly. Yeah, possibly. Big up to everyone locked in, man. Make sure you smash these likes up. Over 500 in here, nearly 200 likes. Big up Unique for the donation as well. We've been scoring so many goals, but I don't, excuse me, I don't want to this as an excuse not to buy a striker. Just imagine someone like Tony with our creative players alongside him. That would be so tasty. Pause.
100%. I think this season, you know, the striker conversation has to be made redundant. We've got to go with what we have. You know, we got to concentrate. I think conversations around Ivan Toney obviously are going to be massive on March the 9th because we play Brentford at home. So obviously we're probably going to think, right, that's another audition, although we've seen enough auditions already to know that he's a player that we can look at. But after it'll be the March the 9th, 5:30 kickoff at the Emirates. And after that, we've got to concentrate on what we have because they're the players in possession. But come June, that's a conversation we've definitely got to have. Just like I anticipate some sort of conversation in June, the same sort of conversations we had around Declan Rice. And I'm not saying that Tony's going to come to us because I think Declan Rice, it was kind of more of a, hi, Gracie. All right, babes. Gracie,
big up, Gracie. Big up Staffy in my chat as well. And everyone, smash these likes up, man. Get these likes up. Go on, Kenny.
But in terms of like Declan Rice, you kind of knew something was happening there. You kind of knew that it was only a case of us putting up the money and we're going to get him. You know, there was a token gesture by Man City to take him, but it kind of got the feeling that personal terms were agreed and discussions had been had by people like Mikel and Declan. In terms of what's happening here, I'm not convinced that we're at that stage yet. I do think there's going to be auction around Ivan Toney, and of course, there's always no sayers as well regarding Toney. Some fans don't want Toney. They see the fact that he's played for Brentford.
There is a lot of fans that don't want him. Yeah, there is a lot of fans that don't want him.
And some of the fans who've got high profiles don't want him. They've got their own reasoning. Some have said that all Toney does is score penalties. Well, since he's come back from
don't they count then? Because we get quite a lot of penalties, mate.
He hasn't had one penalty. He hasn't scored one penalty, but he scored goals. So that's another argument. Look, it's all about preferences. Some fans are going to want Watkins because of the fact that he's had a good season as well. Some fans may want. A lot of fans are now telling me they want Isak from Newcastle. So they all got their
fit either, man. Like, come on,
he says injury prone, but it's a combination of Ivan Toney's in part discussions, but fans got other alternatives. Before the African Cup of Nations, and probably even since, they're talking about Victor Osimhen. So
no thanks.
It's not just Toney, but everyone. I don't think they dislike Ivan Toney. They just feel that there's probably better alternatives. I personally think Ivan Toney's the person I like. I like the way he plays football. He's cool under pressure. He's got
this. It's a different outlet as well. When you're under the clock and you're protecting a 1-0 lead or a 2-1 win, like a 2-1 lead, just stick him on the halfway line and lump the ball up to him. It'll stick.
And another thing is what people don't seem to look into what he does as well, or just look at his game. He can, like I said, play in a sort of role where he can create chances for his opponents, through passes, get down the channels, put little crosses in. And he's a player that is very easy to play with. He was, Mope is enjoying playing with him at the moment, although they're not getting the results they need. Before it was Mbuemo and Wizza. So any of our front three would love playing with Ivan Toney. But again, that's my preference. And I hope we go and get him. But, I always feel that, there's other people. I think Spurs would probably want a piece of that. Of course, Chelsea will be there as well. And Arsenal. It's all about who's going to offer him the most money. People say he's going to come to Arsenal because we've got a chance of winning trophies. I think that's the case. But if Spurs or Chelsea offer him a bigger salary, he could go there. He may, you know what I mean? But for me, he's my preference.
See, Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins is a good player. I've liked Ollie Watkins since he was at Brentford. The problem with Ollie Watkins is we don't play to his strengths. When you watch most of his goals, they're on the counter-attack. Yeah, we don't play counter-attacking football very often. And teams will park the bus against us more than they will against Aston Villa. It's normally Aston Villa that are kind of camped, not camped, but they play a little bit deeper than we play. We're on the front foot. We're on the edge of their box, whereas other teams will have a go at Villa, and then on transition the other way, Ollie Watkins, if you look at most of his goals, he's one-on-one with a defender, or he's just shooting across the front of the box, like across the defender to whip one in. Ivan Toney, for me, can do that. He can work the channels as well, but he can also play with his back to goal. Yeah, Ollie Watkins ain't as good with his back to goal, and in a congested penalty box, you need someone that's going to flick a header in. I don't really see Watkins being like that. I'd take them both. Get rid of Jesus, Eddie, and go and get them both. But I don't think we're getting Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins last season would have been ideal for us, the way we were playing last season. But now teams know that we're going to play like this. They're sitting back against us more. Even when we weren't playing the flowing football we've played the last 5 games, defensive football from every team pretty much. And Watkins, as good as he is, he ain't that kind of striker for me, like for that type of football that we're playing. The football we're playing now, the last 5 games, he'd bag. But that's why I want Ivan Toney, man. That guy, cool as a cucumber, man. Cool as a cucumber. As for Osimhen, no thanks. I've never rated that guy. That guy spends half his time on his backside, same as Jesus. Chasing his first touch half the time as well. So,
what about Alexander Isak?
Isak's a good player, but again, he's another one that if you look at a lot of his goals, it's on the transition from back to front. Yeah, how many teams come onto us? We've conceded 2 shots on target in 3 games. Isak wouldn't be. Isak, maybe he would have got a couple of goals. Maybe Watkins would have got a couple of goals. But over a course of a season, number one, he's too injury prone. This is what, his 3rd or 4th injury this season?
3rd.
There you go. He's out 3 times already. Yeah, no, not for me. We need somebody that's not injury prone. Look at Ivan Toney.
Saying that, they do think he's going to be back for our game on Saturday.
he's a good player. I'm not knocking him. I think he's a very good player. But the thing for me is when you look at a player like Tony, he missed 8 months without kicking a football.
Mm-hmm.
And look at the way he's just taken to it again, duck to water. And he's playing for a team that are relegation, down near relegation. Yeah, I don't think they'll get relegated, but they're flirting with it.
Well, it depends. It depends. If Everton get their points back, they could be in the fifth. It's true, though, isn't it? Think about it. If they get their points back, then teams like them and Palace are in a precarious position.
I'm looking at the table now. Brentford are 14th. Palace are 16th. 1 point separates both of them. The Forest is in the middle, yeah? So they're both 5 and 6 points off of Everton. Yeah, if they get their points back, Luton drop into there. Yeah, man. But listen, Palace have just got a new manager. So maybe they'll get a new manager bounce. I don't know. And then Brentford, if Tony keeps scoring, obviously they've lost 3 out of the last 5. But if he keeps scoring...
They've got Man City tomorrow. So
he scored there last year twice. Beat them 2-1.
True.
Lee, one thing we can take away from Saturday's game is that bench, our bench, we have got to do some wholesale selling this summer.
Mm.
Eddie Nketiah has to go.
Yep,
he's got to go.
Yeah.
It's no more up for debate. Me and you sat there. We watched 20 plus minutes. I'm sitting there rooting for him to score. Heads the ball, looks to the referee for a corner. You heard me screaming when you went off the camera there about we're up 5-0. We got a free kick. He gets in the wall.
He got in the wall. Why is he in the wall?
Did you notice that, Jay? Did you notice that? He goes to the wall. He's the striker. He's the striker. What is he doing? Where's he going?
And the thing is, it's not like he's a big lump either, like a 6'5", big wide striker, like a Harry Kane or something. I know Kane's not 6'5", but it's not like he's a big lad and he's being a decoy in the wall. Yeah, he's like 5'11". Yeah, he's got a bit bigger, but he's bulked up a little bit, but he's still skinny in comparison to a lot of strikers and other players. Why are you in the wall?
I mean, you heard me. So I looked up. I said, "Wait, he's in the wall." I said, "He's standing there. Look."
Lee, sorry, mate, but
brother.
I had a debate a few weeks ago with a guy who, on Connor's show, and he was telling me that look at what Arteta's done for improving the players, and I said, "Well, how's that?" And this guy told me, "Well, he's look at the physique and the body of Nketiah."
Wow. These people are zesty as fuck.
Seriously, man? Really? Honestly.
Oh man.
I mean, brother.
You can't make it up, can you?
No, you can't, brother. And then you look, and then you look at him, and then you look behind him, and you see Cedric Suarez. You're like, bro, what? you know, it guys.
Nenny getting a jog out the other day. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the slack of the slack, man. We have got some wholesale selling that needs to be done, and we've got to do some renovation here because that right there is just not gonna get it. If we get into a crunch this year, that's just not gonna get it, man. I couldn't believe how piss poor he was. It was probably one of the worst performances that I've seen. And I've seen some bad ones, but that was to have that amount of time in a game. You're up 5-0. You should be coming on. I want to get involved, because everybody's scoring. So it's like, I did, they get nothing, absolutely nothing.
It was like last week at the London Stadium again. He was again, struggling to make an impression in a game that was already won. But that's the whole situation. Football's a bastard game. It's a dog-eat-dog game, and you get left behind. Mikel's a very, very ruthless person to the extent that if he feels that that the squad's moved away from you, then he'll just leave it behind. Smith Rowe's another one who would love to.
We need to sell him, man.
You see, we had some fun in the last couple of weeks, but Smith, in terms of like his involvement, that he's not needed. He got
injured in training, hurdling over a tackle that was coming in. As he landed, he hurt himself.
Don't forget the one now.
This is another Jack Wilshere. He's got loads of talent. Yeah, and when he plays, you're like, okay, you really want him to do something because, like, again, he's come through the academy. He's been there from a young age. One of them ones. And you really want him to smash it, and he can because he did it 2 years ago, in lockdown, or 3 years ago, whenever it was. He was killing it, running through midfield, scoring goals, and you're looking, going, yeah, he's going to be a top player. How many injuries he had since he got injured in the warm down at Old Trafford last year?
Yeah, definitely. But the thing is, even as early as last season, the team was moving away from him anyway. You know, I'm of the opinion regarding Emil that maybe I've bought into the manager's decisions on him. That, you know, I always look when I look at Emil, and if it was like a quiz question, the answer will be, well, there's 3 or 4 players in front of you already. That's the 3 or 4 players I can think of. There's probably more. There's no place for you in at the club, because even as a substitute, there could be a situation. There could be better alternatives to come and help us change the game. So really, the answer is time for him to shove off. And I say it in a nice way, because I'm saying it because I really think that there's a career out there for him, and that he is wasting the best years of his learning life being part of a squad where he won't get a game. He won't get a game.
That cut you off, I was going to say, you know, you look at Emmitt Smith Rowe, and if there's one player that he should look at and say, well, you know what, this player's kind of went down and went back up. Now he's doing fairly decent where he's at. Is go look at Ross Barkley over at Luton.
Yeah. Oh, he was smashing it.
I was looking at him yesterday, and I was like, look at this guy. I was like, look at you know, I was just in shock, you know. But you have to do that. You have, as a player, you have to say to yourself, okay, I'm not going to get it here. I've got to go somewhere else where I can get it.
If I'll tell you one thing, there's loads of clubs that will take Emil. West Ham obviously will bite their hand off. Even someone like Newcastle, I can see him smashing at Newcastle. Look what's happened with you know, look what's happened with a couple of their players have gone up there. They like I said, they're as I say, I can't get me words out. They're doing well. You know what I mean? So I don't see why we can't do it. But you know, one thing we neglected to mention, and you know, I think it's important. You know, it's a very pertinent point. We're talking about every player that has improved the team, except for the goalkeeper. Now, a lot of these Arteta lovers and all these people called mutants who hate the Rat Army were slagging off the manager because they replaced this guy. They replaced Friends of Aaron or Aaron with this guy. They couldn't take it. They were abusing the manager, Chelsea away. They were abusing him at home games. They were singing this Aaron's name. You look at the control we've had in games. You look at the fact that we're not conceding. We've only conceded 1 goal since we come back from Dubai.
Yeah,
Raya has got no credit whatsoever. Let's talk about the goal he set up for Trossard against Crystal Palace. Let's talk about the control he has. The way he just, you know, like I said,
Liverpool
the throw out. That's the same. What he's been brought in for, Raya, and he gets no credit. You know, I think that the Friends of Aaron should, you know, instead of telling us to back our ideas up about our comments about the manager and certain personnel like Odegaard and Saka, what about you guys taking a good look at yourselves and finally appreciating what you got in Raya? Because I'm Arteta out, but I backed the manager's decision on Raya because I knew what Aaron wasn't the answer. And I knew Aaron was very good at, you know, being a good team man. He was good at shot stopping. But in terms of what the manager wanted, Raya was easily what we needed. And it's now, proving the manager right, proving me right. And we're seeing the fruits of having and the benefits of having Raya in goal. But no one wants to talk about that. You know, so I just think people should have a look at themselves. Sadly, for a lot of us are Kieran Tierney fans. I love Kieran Tierney. Unfortunately, as much as I'm against the manager's methods, I think the manager was right on Kieran. I hate to say it, but he was right. All this inverted, play that obviously, Jez, you hate with a passion. I respect that. And you're right to a certain extent. But in terms of how we're attacking and how we're now controlling the game and now getting extra bodies in the middle of the park, enable to us to press forward and get in goal scoring positions and dominate games. you know, having maybe the likes of Zinchenko just playing inverted football again, he's probably right on Kieran Tierney, which is sad because Kieran Tierney's a fantastic left back, and you know, who knows? Had it not been for injury, could be one of the best left backs in the Premiership. But you know, I don't think it was injuries that curtailed Kieran's path at Arsenal. I just think it's a manager's change of tactics, preferring an inverted player. I really do.
100%. 100%. He just wanted to play a different way, and Tierney weren't part of the plan. But I'll tell you something, in 8 days' time, Kieran Tierney could be in a Copa del Rey final. Yeah, could be in a final.
Yeah.
Real Sociedad, if they beat Mallorca at home in the second leg, it's 0-0 from the first one, then he's in a final, mate. So,
yeah, but saying that, Raya proved them right. You know, next season, a bit, you know, £27 million of our budget is going to be, you know, spent on paying Brentford the rest of the money. It'd be money well spent, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, you can move the other one on and get the money and just keep the train rolling, man. The league we brought up Saturday. It's like nobody said anything about Rhea because you know he hadn't done anything wrong. You know, like Kenny said, the man has been consistent. Because this time last year, let me refresh everybody for those who have forgotten. What do we see from Aaron Ramsey this time? Ramsdale, excuse me, Aaron Ramsey. Ramsdale this time last year. He's from Southampton.
Yep.
City. Oh, do you remember the shot from City? Way out, you know, flapping, you know. So we have a track record on him. And right now, as I've stated before, don't change anything that's not broke. Let's just keep rolling with what we got. We don't even need a conflict. There's nothing to discuss.
Yeah, totally agree.
So true. So
totally agree. Before we wrap this up, we have a quick chat about the game on against Porto. Big up to LD who put that chat in earlier. He said, "Would you keep the same squad or the same 11?" I would take out 29 and put Jorginho in.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm keeping the same team.
I think
you're right.
Yeah, sorry.
Go on, mate. No, Kenny, go on.
No, all I'm saying is that I said earlier, I think that it's not a case of what we want. I think the manager is going to look for more control from Jorginho. You know, Jorginho in this since he's come to the club has proved to be a good alternative to what we have in midfield. You know, he's still good at controlling the midfield. He's still good at controlling possession, and he's still good at kind of keeping the possession ticking over. So you in Europe, you are going to need that kind of player, especially against Porto, and not just in all the games we play. Don't get me wrong, Kai Havertz, from a sort of like attacking point of view, is going to be a lot better. You know, you can hold the ball up, you can run past like the midfield and get into goal scoring positions. You know, he can make runs that take defenders away and leave space for others. That's already great. But in terms of taking possession, taking the play, and protecting us as well, Jorginho's levels above Kai in respect.
Yeah, man. Before we do go, big up to everyone who is locked in. We're going to redirect to Saeed in a minute. Give us a score prediction, Jez, for the Porto game.
Oh, I'm going to be. I'm actually going to go 2-0 Arsenal. You know, and very quickly there was a great question that somebody asked Kenny and I. Why ages back now? Ages. Who was the second division team that got to a European Cup Winners' Cup semi-final? 87-88 was Cardiff City when they won the Welsh Cup to qualify for the European Cup Winners' Cup back in the day. There you go.
Wow. There we go. Matty, score prediction, mate.
It's gonna be a stubborn 2-1. Porto and Arsenal are both balanced teams. I expect it to be really tough away. Porto's I don't think people realize that's one of the hardest stadiums to play in Europe. So I expect us to go there. We'll get 2-1, and then when we get home, I think we'll finish them off.
What about you, Kenny?
I'm going for a very, very boring 1-1.
Ooh.
I'm going
I'm
for
gonna-
1-1. On the back of on the back of what we've done, that sounds like slackerage, but I'm just being cautious. I do think that this is going to be a lot closer than a lot of fans have been used to in the last few weeks. But you know, you can't rule it out. We do score goals. We are going to ball, but I do think that Europe's a different kettle of fish, and that you know the midfields are better. And I think Porto will be better defensively. But if Porto want to hold on the ball too long, the best way to get at them is press them and force mistakes, and then use that pace to win a game. But I do think it's going to be cagey. I think Porto are going to be very, very economical in the way they play. They're going to be scared of our pace, and you know they are going to think, you know what, a draw ain't going to be that great, that bad against Arsenal. Who knows? We may take our chance in the second leg, because remember, there's no such thing as away goals, is there? So anything can happen. You know, I think Porto's best chance of winning the tie is to treat it as a 180 minutes game. Say the first half of Portugal, we don't lose. Second half, when we get to the Emirates in 3 weeks' time, we've got nothing to lose. And it goes for Arsenal as well, by the way, because at the end of the day, you know, it's going to be over 180 minutes. You can never say never. We only have to look at what happened last season against Lisbon. We got 2-2, and we thought, bloody hell, we're going to do it. And Lisbon just came, nah.
Then our goalkeeper got lobbed from the halfway line.
Yeah. So
You mean Ramsdale, right? You mean Ramsdale?
Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah. Before we go, big up to everyone locked in. Jez, what you got coming up, mate?
Tonight I'm back. I'm with Tony, Claude, Gunner TV, and Dow. 7 o'clock, having a chat on there. Then tomorrow, I'm not sure. Wednesday, obviously, we've got the game against Porto, which I'm really, really looking forward to. Then, obviously, fan cams, player ratings, etc. Then Thursday, the weekly chat show, if you're around for that one, Kenny Ken. And a preview show of the Newcastle game with same time with Kenny, with Steve Mackler, Newcastle fan. And then Friday night is the quiz. So, yeah, stuff coming up.
There we go. Pin comment.
I'm 30 away from 5K subs. So smash my bloody subs up if you
Come on, get the subs up. It's in the pinned comment, guys. Matty, what you got coming up, man?
Oh, man, we'll be with you on Wednesday. Watching Porto. Watching Porto.
Yeah, man. Make sure you follow Matty's channel as well, Southern Gooner. That's in the pinned comment. And Kenny Ken's 1972's Insta's there. What you got coming up, Kenny?
Well, tomorrow I've got something. Dan's invited me on his show, so I'll be with him. I'm sure I'll be doing battle with Igao again. And
you got
to be honest, Igao, I've got a soft spot for the guy because the simple reason is that, you know, he does mean well. And, you know, and he is putting more meat in the bones to what he's saying. It's not what he was doing before. It was just like one word answer and that was it. He is arguing his points. Don't always agree with him, by the way, but it's got that. Obviously, Jess, Thursday. What time are we looking on Thursday? I can do it because I could definitely do Thursday, but I might. Can we do it a bit earlier, about 5, or is that going to be hard? Yeah, 5. And what time's the quiz on Friday?
I was going to go for what, 6 or something, or 7. I haven't set any time.
7's wicked. 7's wicked on Friday.
Go 7.
Oh, yeah, perfect. I'm live again in about an hour and 25, hour and 30 minutes. Bilbao are playing Girona. Real Madrid dropped points at the weekend. They drew with Vallecano. So Girona can bridge the gap, guys. They can bridge the gap. And if they win, they go 3 points behind Real Madrid. So, expecting a good game tonight. Bilbao, if they win, they go 2 points behind fourth, behind Atletico. So, second versus fifth should be a good game. But anyway.
Imagine Girona and Arsenal in the Champions League next season. Sorry, people. I know I'm catting the chickens about us getting in the Champions League, but I'm in that position where I can finally count my chickens about at least one thing. We'll all be playing in the Champions League next year.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it looks like it. Will we be getting Real Madrid with Mbappe though next season? Good luck. Anyway,
Lee, I just want to be playing teams like I want to play Girona, not because I don't rate them, because I just want to have a look at them live because of what they're doing this season. But can we just have Copenhagen? I mean, Copenhagen got to be like the luckiest side ever. I mean, good luck to them getting where they were, but Jesus Christ.
Mate, if we get through past Porto, bring on PSV or Dortmund. One of them two. But listen, we are going to wrap this up. I've got to go out as well. Mrs. is text waiting downstairs for me. So I've got to go, guys. But otherwise I would have carried on for longer, but she's on my case. But yeah, I'll be back in an hour and 20 odd minutes for that game on Lee Reacts. So close to 25k as well, that channel. It's about 80 odd away. So go and sub to that. Sub to the lads. Follow Kenny's Insta, and we're out of here. Adios. All right, go and spam Sage chat with Lee Raid as well. Yeah, we're out. Laters.